Thank you for joining us. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are happy to have you here and with us. We're just letting people in and moving everyone over to panelists. As a panelist, we invite you to please turn on your video if you can. We love to see your beautiful faces. Also, you will have capabilities to be able to unmute yourself and speak and ask questions. We really are excited and encourage you to be interactive. If you do not know who I am Nadine G. I am one of the founders of the Be Well Experience, and I am super excited today. We are more than halfway through. We are at our 7th workshop, and actually that adds up to 14 because we have two per hour. This is my 7th one, and I am ecstatic. Some of you guys might have registered right in the beginning, and you would have seen that we had a different presenter, Miss Carissa. We want to keep her in our prayers as she is healing herself this week. And so we had to make a shift. And I am so thankful for my network and for all the beautiful people in my circle, because I reached out to Miss Lauren this week and asked her if she could jump in for us. And so here she is. And so I'm going to pass it over to you, Lauren, and then I'll continue to let people in. And go ahead, darling.
Yes, hi. Thank you so much, Nadine, for having me. Literally anything for you, girl. I'm jumping right into the ocean, throw my life vest on. I got it on deck, and here we are. So I'm definitely grateful, and everything happens for a reason. Definitely prayers out to make sure that she's healthy. And thank you for everybody for tuning in. I'm grateful for being here in the space and being able to learn.
Yep, I got that.
Okay, I was like, is that for me? All right, well, thank you, everyone. Am I capable of sharing my screen?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Nadine, let me know if we're visible here.
Loading.
Okay, we're good?
Yep, you're good. All in.
All right, so hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Wells. I'll go in a little bit as far as about me and what we're going to be talking about today is more so optimal immunity. And I want to share how you can learn proper detoxing regimens, empower your gut health. Everybody talks to me and knows me as like their gut health bestie. I have been studying and learning about the gut for a long time due to my own particular issues. I always say I'm like a gut sensitive tummy person. And I want to talk about engaging in intentional eating tonight. So any questions or anything like that, please feel free to chat. I can't see the chat, but I'll make sure I'll get to it if anything comes up. So today I'm going to talk about these things, and I'm also going to share a regimen that I use and help with my clients to be able to use. And I have a special gift for everyone who tuned in tonight for you, and I'll be sharing that at the end on how you can be able to jumpstart you having more intentional eating, helping you and empower your gut. So I like to be engaged here. I'm going to talk about some symptoms. This is a judgment-free zone. I'll raise the flag too and say for any symptoms that I'm talking about. But if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, put the number in the chat if you have these experiences for these symptoms. 1, sugar craving. I was guilty. 2, constipation. If you experience now or in the past. 3, bloating. 4, gas. 5, headaches. 6, fatigue. 7, aches and pains. Nausea. Hard to lose belly fat. Any skin problems, eczema, acne, dandruff. I see the chat dinging. Any food cravings, especially processed foods. Low energy, bad breath, or irritability or mood swings. So let's see here. 1, 3, 4, 6. All of them. 8, 9, 10. I see numbers just going off the charts. And it's, you know what's funny, guys? Like, this is so common. And I know for me, someone mentioned menopause. That's definitely something as well. I mentioned these specific ones for a reason, especially being that we're talking about gut health today. 9 of the 14. Wow. And you know what's funny, guys? A lot of us, a lot of us experience these things, and I had many of these experiences, and it started to become my day-to-day life, and I just thought it was normal, like, oh, I got some gas, you know, and just call it a day, when really it's our body trying to tell us something. I want to share a little bit before I start going on and telling you about like these sometimes people are embarrassed to talk about these. I've experienced these as well. So I want to tell you a little bit about me. As I mentioned, my name is Lauren Wells. I also go by LC. You can find me on all the social media platforms at LC Fits You. And for me, I'm a certified holistic health and fitness coach. I am in school currently right now studying Ayurvedic medicine, which is more of an indigenous holistic practice, learning and mastering nutrition and digestion as a whole. For the last 7 or 8, going on 8 years, I've been studying and learning about the holistic regimen to digestive health and gut health as a whole. And I have been dedicating these last 7 years helping women to adopt holistic and realistic lifestyle habits, to lose belly fat and eat more plant-based foods. My goal is not where everyone is meant to be completely vegan or plant-based, but at the end of the day, all of us need more fruits and vegetables, right? We get caught up into these titles and names and vegan this and vegan that. People ask me, are you vegan? I say I'm veganish. At the end of the day, I don't care if you're a carnivore or a full-on vegan. Everyone needs more fruits and vegetables on their plates as a larger portion. And that's my goal, to help people to start adapting more of that. That will, in a sense, help you to lose more belly fat and things of that nature. I started adapting the holistic lifestyle approach myself after being diagnosed with 2 autoimmune diseases and having thyroid dysfunction. I've been studying the body for like 20 years. Since I was in high school, I was doing nursing, so I've always like knew about a bit about anatomy. I all through high school and college, I was a pharmaceutical tech, and I always like knew about that, but that was more of the symptoms. I really started to engage and learn a lot more and wanted to learn more from a holistic standpoint and more of the Eastern philosophy when it comes to our health, because we have all these signs and symptoms that we just talked about that many of us overlook until it's too late. And then we got to go to the doctors and kind of adapt to the Western philosophy when they're ready to prescribe medications. That was my story. And I want to kind of share, like, we can start learning these symptoms and things we're having now. So if you had either one or more or all of them, like someone titled and typed and talked about, if you're having any of those symptoms, maybe it's time for you to really start listening to what your body is trying to tell you. In Ayurvedic medicine, we talk about learning the signs and symptoms that we have and experience and start knowing what they're telling you. So I said those specific symptoms that I talked about. You may have others, like someone mentioned menopause and things like that. But those particular symptoms, I urge you to kind of look at the gut health. And a lot of that may mean that it's time to detox and cleanse. Now, I want to talk about the difference of the two. I want to talk a little bit, like I said, about intentional eating, and notice the difference. Every day we should be detoxing. You could detox with just water. It doesn't have to be such this big thing. But every once in a while, I always recommend by seasons. That's one of the things that's really like mastered in Ayurvedic, is learning the seasons to do some form of cleansing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today.
Lauren, there's some questions dropping in the chat. So I would just ask if at the end you can leave some space for Q&A, and then I'll give you the questions that are coming from everybody, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I can pop in and see a few. Okay. Do you want me to answer them now, or we can hold off for a bit? I have a little gap where.
What works best for you? You let me know.
Okay, let me see. We can go into some of the questions. Let me see. If anybody wants to unmute yourself, feel free. What do you know
So
about?
Jason asks, what do you know about sudden allergy conditions like severe gluten allergy?
Yes,
Okay.
guy.
Uh, so Jason, that is actually that's funny because I had that. I never had allergies or anything before, and I started having extreme itchy eyes and sneezing, and end up being gluten sensitive. I wasn't diagnosed celiac. Let me be sure. Let me just kind of move back off. Let me be sure to make clear I am not a doctor, so always speak to your doctor when anything kind of like rise. But one of the things that could be is forms of possible leaky gut. In the Western philosophy, they don't always really recognize that as something, but a lot of times when you are having sudden allergies like that, you could be antihistamine sensitive, and that could be more of a related gut health issue. And I'll kind of be going into that. So allergies is definitely one of the particular signs from there.
And then we had a panel that someone raised their hand. Kaneen, forgive me if I pronounce it wrong.
It's Tanine. Thank you.
No, there was someone before you, but as well. Hold on. Kaneen. Are you still there? Okay, Tanine, you can do yours, and then if she comes back, then she can do her second.
Okay, and I'll get to the question. If he has something he can say towards the end, I can answer. Tanine?
Hi. My question is around 2 years ago, I turned 43 and I developed acne on my jaw area. And I never had acne as a teenager, and my skin is pretty good. So I feel just, intrinsically, as you're paying attention to your body, I feel that it's something that I'm taking in that's causing it, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure what.
Well, anything as far as in the jawline here is hormonal shifts and changes. So those can particularly go into that aspect. And as a whole, like literally, as when it comes to the full Western philosophy of everything, a lot of these things hone into the gut health. Literally, like 80% of your immune system lives in your gut. So a lot of those things could be happening. And like you said, but taking in. So I'll talk a little bit about that if you hang tight. If I don't answer and we have time, I can kind of go into that. But anything here is hormonal related.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so one of the things I want to share is, ways to start making a shift to optimal immunity. It's important for all these things that you guys are talking about. We need to focus on immunity. Like we think immunity when it comes to like COVID or catching a cold, but immunity is for everything. If you want to feel good, you want to have more energy, all of those things, we want to start focusing on optimal immunity. And like I said, literally the majority of your immune system, like 70 to 80, there's different research that would say lives in your gut. Your immune system is there, and all your hormones and things like that, especially like serotonin, the good hormone, is in your gut, which is like we talk about as the second brain. So one of the things I want you guys to start kind of paying attention to is start realizing that everything you put in your mouth is data, like a computer. When we start thinking that, this is how we can start intentional eating. Um, and you want to begin with thinking quality over quantity. I know we're busy, we're on the go, we have a lot going on. We want something quick and easy, and we got to be very mindful and protective of ourselves of a lot of the marketing scams that are out there. And I want to show you a little bit about that. And I'll show you like a quick example. So that's one of the things. And then definitely focus on deep root, which is the gut. So I'm going to give you guys a great formula how I particularly help people and use 5 key staples and superfoods to help uproot where a lot of these particular symptoms that we have been sharing and experiencing can happen. Because that's how it was for me. I'm a fitness trainer here in New York City. I'm completely virgin now since the COVID, but when I first started having like flare ups and things like that, my hands and feet used to flare up and it hurt like crazy. And that's when I had to start paying attention. I had those particular symptoms as well, like you talked about, to me, breaking out here on my chest and on my back. So it's important to start realizing and asking, what am I putting in my mouth? What is what kind of information am I putting in my computer, in my system, right? What type of quality am I eating? Does this have more quality? Is it from the ground as much as possible, not as processed? And then also too, is this good for my gut? Am I having, am I putting great plants? And, your body is like the earth, are you planting good seeds into your body, right? So I want to talk about a little bit on a daily simple detox regimen that you can adopt today. If you don't remember anything I said, this is something that you can start implementing. There's so many different forms of detoxing, but I like to keep things simple and not make things over complicated more than it already is, because this is very complex. So it's important for you to drink room temperature water with lemon and lime, or lime, preferably lime, especially if you're like Dr. Sebi, avids. You want to stick with lime, but lemon is good as well. I know they say its form is acidic, but if you have alkaline water, or definitely like a good filter water, that's a great thing. And then adding a pinch of pink Himalayan sea salt, preferably it has more minerals, or at least sea salt, but pink Himalayan sea salt is good. That's how you can start off to be able to put electrolytes back in your body, help to cleanse, and also help the digestive fluids in your gut, the hydrochloric acid in your gut to start to have a healthy pH. So then that way, when you start eating, you can be able to fully absorb the nutrients from it and digest like you should. And then you want to also have fresh fruits for breakfast. Remember, breakfast is about, if no one ever told you, it's about breaking a fast. And a fast, how to break a fast is with liquid. That could be water. And then you want to have some form of sugar, which is from fruit, not processed, because that glycogen you could be able to use as energy. And fruit has like properties, especially like berries, apples, things like that. Now, those things have properties with good fibers, so it can help move. Like fruits have a property to move things out of your body, so that can be able to flush. You want to make sure when you wake up in the morning that you are going number 2. If you're not, you're dehydrated, you're backed up. We can talk more about that, but it's important that that's going on within the first hour. Some people don't even move their bowels at all in the day, or not till like later in the day. These are things that can help you to start detoxing, rehydrate. A lot of times if people are constipated, they're backed up. And also, find ways to eat plenty of spices like ginger, cinnamon, cayenne, cumin, turmeric. These are really good, super cleansing herbs and spices that you could implement into your day to day. You can even put a little ginger in your water with some Ceylon cinnamon. It's really good. So these things are really good properties to be able to help your body reach its natural point where you start hitting homeostasis, pretty much. So it gets you to the point where your body is basically like you're like oiling up your machine. Okay. Let me check the chat really quick.
There's one question. It says, what is a good schedule for detoxing? Like how many times per year? Also, how do you eat healthy in accordance with your cycle and combat severe cravings for processed food? Sorry to
I see the question. Okay, that's a very loaded question, but what I can say, you want to start paying attention to your body. Everybody is different, especially when it comes to like Ayurvedic, right? We talk about that, but you want to start detoxing, like where I'm talking and sharing, is really good. Oops, sorry about that. Is really good for first thing in the morning before you start putting food. So implementing this simple detox that I shared right here is very helpful in that way. And then as far as according to your menstrual cycle, it's hard for me to answer like right off the back here. But the important thing is start listening to your body. You want to get a lot of like these particular spices are really good because it helps to, especially if you have forms of clotting and things like that. Those are good herbs to start helping your to build up your blood and be able to get things like particularly moving. And then you want to have like forms of potassium, bananas, and things like that. I see the question where it says, would you recommend intermittent fasting and for how long? Intermittent fasting is good, but as well as mentioned, it really depends on the person. I do intermittent fasting, but I start noticing when it comes to wintertime, my body don't respond the same particular way in that schedule. But intermittent fasting can be well and helpful for some people. It is advised to pay attention as far as with women because it can help. It can cause like where the hormones start to shift and get imbalanced. So that really depends on the person. As anything, like I said, the importance is listen to your body. But I would say try it, figure out a schedule for you. I do have a video on YouTube that talks about intermittent fasting and the logistics of it that could be helpful. So yeah, I hope I answered the question. All right, so let's talk about, quality over quantity. It's important to start paying attention. Like we look at this, I know back in the day, like when my mom wanted to eat healthy, we got, Slim Fast and Smart Ones, and like we just thought that was healthy, not realizing that this is heavily processed with hydrogenated oils and salt, and they're not good. Start focusing on more whole foods, being able to cook, the foods and naturally yourself. I understand we're busy, or go, to certain restaurants that gives you things that are a lot more fresh and not processed. So these are great things that will help you to be able to get real energy that your body needs to be able to help you feel more full and boost your energy and your metabolic rates. Okay. And just remember, cheap, quick, and easily accessible foods sometimes could be a big red flag, especially, like I said, if it's like advertised in big writings, you've seen commercials, anything that has a commercial, don't eat it. Those are particular things that I say, like to keep it super simple and quick, and just also be okay with the process and the learning curve of everything. So it's important for you to really start paying attention, but you can have access to foods that are quick and easy, high nutrient dense without breaking the bank. All right, so now we're going to go into the gut. It's important for you to understand, like I've been talking about, when you really start paying attention, there has been so many researches to help as far as with the gut microbiome and inflammation that happens in the gut. A lot of those symptoms that you talked about, even with allergies that you were speaking of, that's an inflammation, a flare up going on in the body. And then your body starts to send signals and things like that that's going on. So definitely always check with your doctor, get your blood work checked out, start looking at those particular things. Once you kind of have an idea, then you can always work with a holistic health coach or someone, like myself or things like that to help you to start getting your body to start responding for you. If we put for me, I grew up eating horrible, all processed foods, canned goods, microwavable foods, oodles and noodles, you name it. So my receptors, my wires, like we talked about computers, I had all kinds of virus, in my computer software, things was crossing and I wasn't getting right information. So my body was like in this fight or flight mode, literally just flaring up, acne, all those particular symptoms that we talked about. So it's important to start paying attention to the gut, and I'm here to kind of share that. So, also to pay attention to your stress. Stress can be a big, big, big trigger that causes some inflammation to the body as well and start to suppress and compromise your gut microbiome. And it also makes you susceptible to diseases and viruses and cause poor gut health. And it's important to manage your stress. Detox, that simple detox that I talked about in the morning is a good thing. Cleansing your digestive tract. I want to talk about, hopefully we get in that timing, but I want to talk about how you can use, I have a 30-day program in my mind body healing program on how you could be able to cleanse your gut in very simple, easy ways that's not so depriving, but more so giving the nutrients back in your body that you need and helping you to have optimal health. All right, so let me, Nadine, any questions right here? I can take a quick break and look. Let me see.
There are three. So the first one is, how much water should we drink?
You want to make sure that you drink at a minimum. I mean, this really depends on the person. Stay away from like bottled water, things like that. Try to get filtered water. One of a good filtered water is called zero water. But you want to drink at least half of your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, get 100 ounces of water in you.
Okay, the next question was, what supplements work?
That is relative to the person. Like something that could work really well for me is not well for you. And as a holistic coach, I can't just say like, take this or that. One of the things that, especially in this time with, in this season, you want to have forms of like vitamin D, and pair that with like a vitamin K to help you to absorb, but get stuff from foods as much as possible. I'm not a big fan of whole foods. I do recommend a lot of things that are whole food supplements, meaning it comes from a food source, is not man-made or come from a lab, and get things as far as like as fresh as possible to get those nutrients in. I seen someone else said like I've been taking many supplements, C, D, E, turmeric, and zinc. Is this too much? It really depends on your body. How is it responding to you? If you're, if you feel good with it, you feel more energy. Like I would say, like, you have to start paying attention on how you feel. Because like I said, those same supplements, I've had clients where this works really well for someone, but this don't work well for the other because we're eating different ways. We have different hormone levels. That's there, but I can't say that it's definitely where it's too much if it's beneficial for you and it's not causing issues. What supplements would you recommend for menopause? Um, so just to kind of clear the air, I don't like to say this is what you should use for this because I don't know, how you particularly eat and what can cross, and we got to be very careful as a health coach to say this. But what I can say is particular herbs that are great for menopause that you can look into, like primrose, cohosh, and then also pairing that everything with as far as supplements. Let's start looking at what foods we could particularly do because you could take these supplements and then your body's not even absorbing it if you don't have proper gut health, and you pretty much have expensive pee. So it is important to start cleansing the gut so you can absorb those nutrients, which can help a lot of the symptoms that may be happening, hot flashes and things like that with menopause. So I've had, particular clients where they didn't change the diet, still ate what they ate, took particular herbs and things that was helpful for like the hot flash and menopause, and didn't see major results because they didn't change and clean up the diet so their body could absorb that. I hope that makes sense.
And then there's one more that just came up. I use sea moss 2 to 3 times a day with my lime water, herbal tea, and smoothies. Is that okay?
It's natural. So yeah, those are good sources from there. Also energy, should diet, rest, and exercise be combined with? Absolutely, Tanine. Like all those are great properties on being able to help on those things. So yes, diet, rest, exercise, healthy mindset, eating right, those are all good things. All right, so I'll check in a minute. Let's go to the next phase as far as digestive gut cleansing as far as the track. And I'm pretty sure these will help your, a lot of these questions that you particularly have, and anything where you have more questions, I can always, we can talk from here. But I want to make sure I get this information to you guys where it could be helpful in our short time together. So it's important, like, diving deep, paying attention to the root cause, taking care of your gut health, banishing cravings. All these things can help you to banish cravings, the imbalance, fatigue, and then managing stress, getting good sleep, as it was mentioned. These are all good things to help your body to be able to nourish, as far as you being able to get to have more energy, feeling more vibrant and flourishing like a garden. Okay, so let's discuss other contributors that can sabotage and suppress your immunity. And I want to talk about a 30-day protocol that I particularly use that helps on a lot of levels from there. So we're going to talk about improving immune system as far as support, help you to get better digestion, better quality of sleep, improve brain function, increase energy, release excess belly fat. All right. So I want to talk about something where people overlook, and not many people. I've been working with a lot of people in the gastrointestinal spaces, from acupuncturists, doctors, and one of the things that is being so overlooked, and we're literally like having so many studies, is paying attention of an epidemic that's going on and that is being sprayed on our foods, in our air, on the crops. And a lot of people don't understand or know about it. So it's called glyphosate. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys may have heard of Roundup. If you heard of Roundup or glyphosate, put a 1 in the chat. If you never heard about it at all, put a 2 in the chat. Okay, so some of you guys are familiar. One's never heard of it before. So I want to kind of, Tina knows, Beyonce mama here. So I want to kind of talk about that a little bit. So it's important, and people don't know, it's literally being disguised in our food. We're breathing in our air, they spray it in the parks. And one of the highest percentages, I did an FDA study where there's a test data of glyphosate that is found in foods, which is the weed killer. So Roundup is a weed killer that they spray, and it kills the weed, but it also embeds into the plant of the food, and we can't wash it and rinse it off. I mean, yes, always wash your fruits and vegetables with vinegar. Shop organic as much as possible if you can, or at least from local farmers markets. That way it didn't travel as much. But there was a 63% study of finding as far as this weed killer in corn, and then 67% of soybean. So if you're going to eat corn, soy, oats as well, chickpeas has been another thing that came up. Those are things, if you're going to get them, please get organic, because they have the glyphosate in it, and it's literally penetrating and perforating in our gut lining and causing a lot of these flare-ups and symptoms. And I promise, this may sound a little like, oh my God, or crazy. If you hang tight towards the end, I'm going to give you a great plan and a strategy to help you, and pretty much be like an insurance plan where you don't have to feel afraid to eat things. So that's where I was at first, feeling very afraid to eat food. But I have like the perfect insurance plan to help me in that way. So it's important to start paying attention to this, because they lead to digestive concerns and problems, like some of the symptoms that we started off with. 74% of Americans, and literally like all of us right here, you have 3 out of 4 people who have some form of digestive issues, like diarrhea, gas, bloating, abdominal pain, as well as some of the symptoms that we were talking about when we started our discussion. And we can't absorb any nutrients. So all these vitamins and things where you say, like, can I eat this? Can I eat that? Sea moss, this and that. It is great if it has benefits, but until you repair your gut and start to, literally, your gut is like the gatekeeper, right, of being able to hone in and bring in those nutrients into your body. We can't absorb that if we don't repair the gut. So I had this issue when I gave up meat and I started eating clean, but then I started having more flare-ups and more issues that started to happen. And it was also because I never did like a full-on gut cleanse to help my body get rid of parasites and things like that, so my body can actually take from those nutrients. Also being mindful of vitamins, like me working in pharmacy, I used to take a lot of the, women's one a day, all that stuff, and then end up still being vitamin deficient. So, and a lot of those are just synthetic for sources. Our body, the way our body chemistry, it really kind of like, remember I talked about food is data. It connects and have good communication, the best way I can say it, if we eat things from more whole food sources as far as fruits and vegetables, but we can't eat that much fruits and vegetables in a day. So if you are going to get any forms of supplements like powders and pills, make sure they come from whole food sources without any additives. All right. And I'm going to give you guys a good source. I have an online superfood store where I share and talk about that. And everyone here would be able to get access to that in a $50 to $100 gift card. So like I said, it's important in order to create better health and being able to see the benefits of what nature can do for us. It's important to nourish and detoxify the body. So you want to give your cells all the nutrients it needs to get rid of harmful toxins, parasites, because those can live in your gut and rob all the nutrients. You're feeding that versus your body. And you want to be able to do that so it can stop more damage and causing more inflammation in the body. A lot of issues that are going on with many people is inflammation. And a lot of things that cause inflammation is stress, lack of sleep, what we eat. And then those things start to cause mucus. So all of those things really start to cause more of a havoc. So as I said, I'm not going to share these things to you guys, make you guys go, oh my God, this is me, all this stuff is going on, what do I do? Because this is what I used to feel like, without giving you a perfect solution. So I do have a perfect solution that I found over all the years. I've tried so many cleanses, detox, herbs, and all these things. But I love what I'm going to share with you guys, which is called the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. And I help many people. I've been doing it for about 7 years, come February, and helping people to put all the pieces together, because usually with juice cleanses is just nourishment, right? And sometimes you don't even absorb all that. And then with detoxes with just herbs, it's just the herbs to detoxify, but then you got to nourish. And sometimes we're not doing that together. So I found the perfect combination that has helped to adapt organic, non-GMO, alkaline superfoods. You do not have to be full blown vegan, but at least we're giving everything from that source to you, and it helps you to build muscle. Most programs deplete you from building muscle, and you got to build that back later. It helps you to nourish, detoxify, cleanse your gut, and to be able to regenerate so you can have that optimal well-being that we talked about. So this is a part of the ultimate lifestyle transformation that I talked about. And the first thing in the morning that you start is super simple. Is you can start off with 5 amino acid proteins. So these are 23 in 23 minutes. They're called super amino 23s, and it helps you to create lean muscle mass. This is like, I really didn't share this a lot because this was like my secret weapon. I used to have some celebrity clients, well, not big celebrities, but I guess some of them have worked with A-list, and they have to be in these music videos, and they'll come to me with roles. So this was like one of my secret weapons that I used to get a lot of people to get like in tip top shape for short times, because I used to have people come to me and like in 3 weeks got to be in a music video, but we got roles hanging everywhere, and they're wearing a 2-piece. So these are this is like literally I my big secret weapon, especially as a trainer. It helps you to create lean muscle mass, support skin elasticity, help you burn fat. So even when I have clients that lose a lot of weight, their skin tightens, and it also helps with mental clarity. It's pre-digested, so it's absorbed in literally 23 minutes. It bypasses your kidneys and livers and get absorbed into your muscles. And it has all 9 essential amino acids, so it's a full, complete protein. Literally 10 of these pills that you take within a day. And you could crush them and put them in food too. But literally, these were made from a doctor who had cancer patients who had their stomachs removed, and they couldn't, they lost a lot of muscle mass. So this was able to keep them, especially some of them were paralyzed. They can't be able to build muscle. So being able to help to replenish, because we need protein at the end of the day. And it doesn't have to come from meat, but these are all different ways. So I really love this because it helps to be able to give all the amino acids your body needs, and you're absorbing like literally, it's me, my boyfriend, my super aminos in the bed. Like as soon as I wake up, I get my water, take 5 of these and start the day, and I have more protein than I could probably eat in a day. Before my feet even hit the floor. So this is something that we use in the 30-day program. And you start off with 5 of these first thing in the morning. You have your water. And then remember, I talked about in order to be able to repair your gut or be able to do anything and start absorbing the food that your body needs, we have to nourish and detoxify. So let's talk about nourishing. We have super greens. This is one of the things I love. And I remember I talked about, yes, for like me, I'm busy. I don't always have time to cook. I'm on the go. So this is something I really love, that I could be able to provide good nutrients that I need without having to spend a lot of time. And also I used to juice, but it used to be kind of challenging with the time and cleaning up. And even us in New York, we got small counter space. So I really love this because I actually have way more nutrients. I'll show you the ingredients in a minute, but then I can even juice in a day, and it's cost efficient. So this helps you to improve energy, reduce cravings. It helps to fuel your cells. So this helps on a cellular level so your body can thrive, and help you to feel fuller longer. So after you have the 5 aminos, you can have, you want to make sure you get your teas, your waters, and things like that. And then when you're ready to eat, if you do intermittent fasting, you would start at your time. Like some start at 11 or 12. I love this because it can work with anybody and their food regimen. But you have this with some water. You can also make it into a smoothie if you want. But I do recommend the first one that you have in a day with water. You would have that. And this helps to support, your tissues that you can read on the screen, your hair, skin, and nails, circulation health, blood glucose levels, digestion, and weight loss. I personally don't look to lose weight, but I like to maintain good weight and also keep my muscle mass. So you can see on the screen all the great organic nutrient superfoods. Is very, like, getting these things separately is expensive. Like a shot of wheatgrass here in New York is like $5. I've even seen in like Chelsea area where it was like $7.50 for a shot of wheatgrass. Okay. So like literally trying to get all these things together in one serving is like super expensive. So I love that this is something simple. And if I break down the price per serving for this, it literally, this whole program comes down to $5.50 per meal, because this is also can be used as a meal replacement. And this also comes in original and appleberry flavor. It doesn't have any additives or anything like that. We use monk fruit. Literally what you see on the screen is no extra additive ingredients. You have 2 of these a day, and then you can have a whole food meal. I seen a question, but I'm going to get to it in a second. Um, so once you start off, like I said, you have your fried aminos, you have your water, then you'll have your green juice with the power shake, and then you want to support your gut health. So this is what's going to be able to start cleaning up that gut that I missed a lot when I was doing all of these just like juice cleanses and things like that. I wasn't really repairing my gut, and I love this. And this is where my acupuncturists us work together, because this has been given the gold standard for the Detox project. You can look that up. They like scale a lot of things, and this helps to remove glyphosate. So remember, I talked about glyphosate and the weed killer. This has been the only thing that is literally on the market that has been shown a 6-week study to remove 74% of glyphosate that's found in the gut that's leading to a lot of these issues that we're experiencing in 6 weeks. So this is literally like, come in a regimen. You would take 2 of these twice a day as well with your power shake. It helps to lower C-reactive protein. A lot of people don't know what that is. It's literally what cardiologists look at with inflammation in the body. So that it lowers that there. I had a client that I worked with who had a heart attack. She had a lot of inflammation in her body, and this helped to start bringing that down. Her cardiologist was like blown away. So this helps the microbiome, better digestion, help better elimination, because a lot of times people are constipated and not going. It helps with mental clarity, helping you feel better. I literally call this like your prebiotic and probiotic on steroids, because it has like chicory root, your prebiotics and probiotics and minerals to be able to help to support your gut. So this is like a good key staple. With me, like, I don't grow my own food. I'm not going to eat like that all the time. I like to eat out and travel. I'm always on the go. I can't always protect myself from my food. So remember, I talked about an insurance plan. This is an insurance plan that can help you to be able to stop a lot of the things in the foods that we're breathing in the air and eating in our foods to poisoning our body. All right. And then we have the colon cleanse. So this is our super cleanse R. It helps to increase elimination, helps to flush out toxins and parasites. You take this 2 a day the last 10 days. So it's important to start cleaning up the diet, what you eat. And then literally on day 20, you would take this the last 10 days so it can start being able to push any parasites that starts to surface. Because when you start eating clean, they start to rise and lay eggs. So this can help, and you can take this with the power shake the last 10 days. All right. And it's a gentle colon cleanse. I've done colon cleanses where I needed to stay home. I've traveled with this. I've had clients who, have to travel state to state. My last client, she was literally just flying from Atlanta to California. And she was like, wow. And she's a herbalist. She was like, wow, like, I'm surprised that I'm not like running to the bathroom, because I usually don't schedule, but I couldn't help it. She had to travel for a certain reason. And it's good. She's able to get things moving without having to like run to the bathroom. And it helps to kind of loosen the fecal matter that hardens on your intestinal walls. So this is like really good, but it's still gentle enough. And it helps you to be able to allow your body to better absorb those nutrients. So I used to take sea moss all the time, but then I was still having a lot of particular information and that's when I knew it's time to do this. I recommend this at least once or twice a year. If you're really about optimal health, I do this every season change, like quarterly. And I noticed like the sea moss, I was absorbing better because I cleaned up my gut. Okay. So this, along with the biomedic and everything together, helps. And it has herbs like clove, wormwood, marshmallow root to be able to help. And then lastly is our superfruit. A lot of times we just read a study in school that literally, people are only having a quarter of the amount of fruits and vegetables their body needs in a day. So I love this because you could drink this at the end of the night or in the day. I like to put mine. I like to try to feel like I'm doing something fancy. I like to put 2 tablespoons of this in my water in a wine glass to make me feel like I'm drinking some wine, but this helps to improve your sleep. I know for me, like, I have a problem going to sleep. My mind runs a lot. So this kind of helps. It doesn't make you sleepy, but it helps you to get a deep sleep. So even if you get like 5 hours, like me, like I typically do, I get good energy from this because it helps my body go into a deep REM cycle sleep. So this helps to be able to, get you a glowing skin. I get those compliments all the time. Helps to release inflammation. And there's a study on tart cherry where it shows that it literally gives the response of the inflammation like an ibuprofen. I use this a lot. Nadine knows that. I had last year I injured my knee. I had 2 surgeries. I was going through this like crazy because it really helped. So I wasn't taking as much medication. It really helps with a lot of inflammation in the body, joint pains and things like that. So you would take this an hour before bed, or you could take it in a day. If you do intermittent fasting, you have to take it, before the cap time. So most of them take it with dinner. It has sour tart cherry. There's many properties. We do not use cherry from the States. If anybody knows, if you have anything that has cherry that's here in the States, they are filled with pesticides and glyphosate, and Coca-Cola owns most of them. So we use Monterey cherries from Italy, and they're imported and then, concentrated into here. So it helps fight oxidative stress, especially if we're just stressful out in this time of the quarantine anyway, homeschooling. And this pretty much equates to 5 to 10 servings of blueberries in just 1 to 2 tablespoons. So we do recommend eating some fruits and vegetables, some fruits as well with this, but this does give you good adequate amount. If you slipped up for the day, you're getting all your fruits and nutrients that you need in a day. So even though it's low calories, very, very high nutrient dense that I promise most of us aren't even getting in a day, we just can't even eat that much. So this can be able to help to provide that. And as I said, it has natural melatonin, so it helps you to get a good deep sleep. So that's pretty much the regimen. I could take questions. I can't pull it up for some reason now. Oh, there we go.
We're just about at time. And I
Yes.
know that we have another presentation coming right after. So could you share with everyone just the gift that you're giving and kind of how they can connect if they're interested in more information? And then we'll end at that moment.
Okay. So you can get connect with me. My website is LC Fits You. I'm also on the social media platforms at LC Fits You. You can email info@LC Fits You. If you could type it in the chat for me, info@lcfitsyou.com to get more information. The gift for everyone for this program, as far as this 30-day, we have many other things. Someone asked, do you go through me directly? Yes, I'm an independent distributor, and with the professional service here, where you can get direct gift code from me, where you can get $100 off of this entire program from here.
So I would just like to say thank you, as I do at the end of all of mine. If you want to unmute and give Lauren a thank you, we would appreciate it. As we are wrapping up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Lauren. So much info.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Really good. Thank
Powerful.
you.
Awesome.
A lot to take in. Very nice.